This person's username is unpronounceable. XoSwMeOeKdEoX says that they find themselves chasing the good feels of projects and bailing when it's not interesting. How do you push through? Well, by realizing that every project has some uninteresting parts and you're going to have to push through. Literally, it's about that starting frame. It's like the person that's only in the relationship for the falling in love part and then gets out and moves on to the next one. Like, that's not life. That's a fantasy of life, but it's not life. And the good feels are phenomenal. But every build is going to have tedium, consternation. You're going to feel stupid. You're going to feel like you have no idea what's going on, and that's part of the process. So the recognition that that's part of the process. And so I talk about monitoring yourself. I learned this at Industrial Light and Magic. So I had been model making from 1993 to 1998 for Jamie Heineman. I took a job working for Zoob, a building toy company based on ball and socket joints, started by an artist named Michael Joaquin Gray out of New York. And I was their head of R&D for about 18 months. I am not built to be management. That's one of the main lessons I learned from working for the toy startup. But I am built to make things with my hands. Like, that is my true life's purpose, and I understood it doing that job. And so as soon as I quit that job, I worked very hard to get into Industrial Light and Magic. I've told the story many times how I called Mark Anderson, who ran the shop at the time, once a week for about 3.5 months before he brought me in. And now I'm at ILM. It's 1998. I have a wonderful skill base. I didn't even realize how good my commercial training had been for preparing me for being there at ILM. And yet still at ILM, oh my God, this imposter complex rises up like a demon in every build that I'm doing. And in every build I do at ILM, I'm noticing that at some point in the build, things are going so off the rails that I'm expecting like Lauren Peterson or Lauren Peterson or Keith, the head of the model shop, or Brian, to come over and tap me on the shoulder and say, it's time for you to go. Clearly, you have no idea what you're doing. And there was just this moment. Buddhists talk about getting curious about your emotions is the most useful response. There was this moment in which I got curious because it felt familiar. And then I realized, looking back at the past few weeks, that I was doing this in every build at this point in the build when I had no idea what was going on. And then I realized every build has a moment in it when I have no idea what's going on. So I should take this less personally. And I really did. It really made it much easier once I understood the sort of macro dynamics of my own spilkas. It made it easier to push through those tedious parts when I didn't feel as good. And so, after I finish a big build like the spacesuits, often I'll come in here and I'll spend like 2 or 3 days just sort of cleaning up and putting stuff away. And I don't feel good about it. It's not like I'm feeling awesome. It's not like at the end of each day, I'm like, what a clean shop. It's more like I'm sort of grinding through this postpartum moment and waiting for it to work itself out. Are there any one-day build videos that will never see the light of day? If yes, why? If there was such a thing, I couldn't tell you why. There are some difficulties with a few one-day builds. They involve lawyers. They're dumb. Not the lawyers, the situations. James Dutrow wants to know, what is the current record for the longest one-day build? There must have been one that took me forever. Oh, no, I'll tell you what it is. It is the Nerf. It's the Nerf, the 1000 Nerf shooter. This is about 8 or 9 months that we parked the entire build before shooting the finale. And the reason we did that was because just after I finished the build was when the Parkland shooting happened. And we were like, no gun shit on the channel for a while because that's awful. Yeah. And look, I'm fascinated and clearly have a fixation on guns and movie weapons. But at the same time, like, I don't want to be the all gun channel, because I am, there are other things that I build. I know it's like a central focus of my enthusiasm, but like, you know, again, I don't want to end up being the all gun channel. So we completed this build, and then the Parkland shooting happened, and such tragedy. And yeah, we just parked the video and thought, yeah, we're just going to put this away for a while. We'll reconvene and see how we feel about it. And we did. And it was about the better part of a year before we got back around to filming the finale, figuring out how to film a finale that we liked, that was light, and funny. And it was Norm's idea to get dressed up in inflatable dinosaur costumes and let me shoot him and Joey. It was you and Joey, yeah? Ryan. That's right. Ryan. Oh my God. So, and Gunther. It was 3.
It was a PA during.
Oh, it was a PA for Mythbusters Junior? So we filmed the finale of that just at the very beginning of my filming of Mythbusters Junior, which was, you may not know this, but Mythbusters Junior was filmed in the facility I worked in when I worked at Industrial Light and Magic. So going to film Mythbusters Junior with my Mythbusters crew in the place that I had worked at ILM, it was like crashing 25 years of my work history in San Francisco into one building with, like, yeah, that was awesome. All right, let's see here. Yeah, Mike says, are there any one day build videos that will never see the light of day? So no, I don't think there are any that will never see the light of day. There's certainly a couple that are unfinished because I never figured out how to finish a build. That has definitely happened. If no, did any come close, but you released it anyway just to show the fail? See, for us, there's never just to show the fail. The fail is like the reason to put up a story. It's the good narrative twist. The fail is the meat. The fail is the meat in the sandwich. Yeah. It's funny, like on Mythbusters, people would always ask, like, are there any moments, great moments on the cutting room floor? And the answer is no. The great moments are all on, if it was great, we put it in the show. There's very little on the cutting room floor that is as good or worth watching that's not already in the episode. Thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to support us even further, you can by becoming a tested member. Details are, of course, below, but it includes all sorts of perks, and we're building them all the time. You get advanced word and behind-the-scenes photos of some of our projects. Questions, you get to ask direct questions during my live streams, and we have some members-only videos, including the Adam real-time series of unbroken, unedited shots of me working here in the shop. They are weirdly meditative. Thank you guys so much. I'll see you on the next one.